Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. I am here today to read you a story. This is called By Curious George by Andrew Simonian. Let's begin, shall we? This is George. He lived in the jungle. He was the straight little monkey, but always very curious. One day George saw a man. He had on a sassy purple beret, and George got excited despite himself. The man saw George too. Oh, I'm always in the mood for some hot monkey love, he thought. I would like to take him home with me. He put his beret on the ground, and of course, George couldn't help himself. He came down from the tree to verify there was a real designer label inside the jaunty purple chapeau. The man had looked so sexy in the beret, George wanted to be sexy too. He picked it up and put it on. He felt gayer already. The beret still smelled of the man's cologne. George closed his eyes to bask in the thick cloud of man-stank. The man picked him up quickly and popped him onto his shoulder bag. "It's a man purse," said the man. George was caught and a little bit excited. The man with the sassy purple beret put George into a little boat with a strapping young lad who rowed them to a big ship. "Hello, sailor," thought George. He was sad to be leaving his home, but he was still a little curious. On the ship, the man took George out of his merce. "Finally," thought George, "I'm not a frickin' chihuahua." "George, I was once like you, and now I'm here to help you," said the man. "I'm going to take you to a big club in the city called the Zoo. I have a feeling you'll like it there, a lot. You will also enjoy this special cruise we are on. Now run along and play, but don't do anything I wouldn't do." George promised to be good. But it's easy for horny little monkeys to forget. On the deck, he found some oiled-up men dancing and drinking. He wondered how they could do so many of these things called body shots. He was very curious. Finally, he had to try. It looked so easy, but oh, what happened? First this, and then this. Oh dear. "Where is George?" Every able-bodied seaman shouted. Seaman. George giggled between his dry heaves. At least they saw him trying to make himself puke, and all tired out. "He's on his knees," cried one sailor. "But not in a good way," cried another. They picked him up. One held his hair, while the other rubbed his back. Best night ever, thought George, through all of his tears and snot. At least he got it all out of his system. At last the long trip was over. It was the gayest cruise in history, thought George. "You ain't seen nothing yet," said the man. George and the man with the sassy purple beret walked down the gangplank, corrected the man, and on the man's impeccably decorated loft to the trendiest part of the city. After a light vegan supper and a smoke of something George quickly realized was not tobacco, George finally felt relaxed and ready to make it happen. Oh dear God, the rest of this book is completely blank, leaving it up to our imagination as to what George and the man with the hat were doing. Oh dear. And that was By Curious George by Andrew Simonian. Definitely one of the best books I've ever read.